You might think you know shields. Perhaps a simple wooden plank, maybe a knight's emblem. But prepare to have those assumptions shattered. For millennia, this seemingly unassuming object has been humanity's most steadfast companion in conflict, yet its story is anything but simple. What if it was revealed that the history of the shield isn't just about passive defense, but about surprising innovation, unexpected adaptation, and even some hilariously impractical ideas that defied common sense? The shield's journey is a testament to human ingenuity. It varied greatly in construction over time and place, often serving as a formidable offensive weapon, not merely a defensive one. These protective devices were also intricately designed works of art, becoming status symbols and canvases for the artistry of their time. This dynamic evolution, from ancient relics to futuristic concepts, suggests that the shield is a profound reflection of humanity's continuous adaptation to changing threats, societal structures, and even its aspirations, as seen in speculative fiction. To truly understand the shield, one must journey back to its primal origins. The very first protective devices likely weren't crafted for the clash of armies, but for the fundamental act of survival in a different context: hunting. Early humans probably employed natural materials like large leaves or animal hides for concealment while stalking prey, then quickly adapted them to ward off attacks from wild animals. This progression from a basic hunting tool to a military weapon demonstrates a fundamental human drive for self-preservation, adapting from individual survival against nature to collective survival against other humans. It illustrates how basic tools are iteratively modified and scaled up for more complex societal challenges. The late Neolithic Age is believed to have seen the first prototypes of the shield, with the oldest surviving examples dating to the Bronze Age. These early forms were fashioned from readily available natural materials such as wood, animal hide, woven reeds, or wicker. Their accessibility and practicality made them ideal for basic protection. Interestingly, many of the earliest surviving metal shields appear to have been more ceremonial than practical for combat. The Yetholm-type shields from the Bronze Age and the Iron Age Battersea shield are prime examples. The Battersea shield, a Celtic artifact over 2,200 years old, discovered in the River Thames, features intricate bronze and enamel work, leading experts to believe it was likely a parade piece. Similarly, the 2,700-year-old Urartian bronze shields found in Ionis Castle were dedicated to Haldi, their chief god, reflecting the rich metalwork of the Urartian civilization and suggesting a strong symbolic or religious purpose. This distinction between functional and ceremonial reveals that ancient societies often valued symbolic power, religious significance, and artistic expression as much as, if not more than, pure battlefield utility for certain artifacts. The appearance and meaning of protection could be as vital as its physical efficacy, adding a surprising layer to the shield's early history and offering a window into the cultural values and social hierarchies of early civilizations. The shield story is filled with unexpected twists. What if it was revealed that shields weren't just for passive blocking? They were, in fact, weapons in their own right, and came in shapes that might surprise even the most seasoned history enthusiast. Warriors frequently employed the shield's sturdy edge to bash opponents or use the central metal boss to punch and disarm adversaries in close combat. The small, lightweight buckler, for instance, was specifically designed for both protection and offense in duels. This versatility, extending far beyond simple defense, meant the shield served as a dynamic offensive tool, reflecting the complex and multifaceted nature of ancient and medieval combat. Warriors integrated their shields into their overall combat style, blurring the lines between offense and defense. Contrary to popular belief, medieval shields were not one-size-fits-all. They came in an incredible variety of shapes and sizes, each designed for specific tactical advantages. From the large Roman scutum to the small, agile buckler and the distinct medieval kite, heater, and rectangular Pavise shields. Their forms were dictated by their function. Here's where the story takes a truly bizarre turn. The lantern shield. This medieval oddity featured a small hole at the top where a soldier could insert a lantern, essentially serving as a medieval version of night vision. It even included a compartment to hold oil for extended use. However, its practical issues were catastrophic. The oil for the lantern frequently leaked out, and during combat, it would spill uncontrollably. This meant the wearer's arm would become covered in highly flammable liquid, leading to the shield setting the wearer on fire more often than not. While being on fire might illuminate the surroundings, it was hardly an effective method for waging battle, and the lit lantern would, of course, reveal the wearer's position to the enemy. This existence of highly impractical or ceremonial shields, like a lantern shield, highlights a fascinating human tendency for both ingenious yet sometimes flawed innovation and the importance of symbolic value or novel ideas over pure utility, even in critical contexts like warfare. It demonstrates that even in serious matters like military technology, human ingenuity can sometimes lead to comical failures, or that other values, such as status, ritual, or simply a novel, untested idea, can override pure battlefield practicality. Beyond combat, shields held other unusual roles. Some were designed purely for show at ceremonies, highly decorated and unsuitable for warfare. Others were believed to possess magical protective powers, influencing the enemy and safeguarding the owner. In some cultures, such as the North American plains, shields were seen as imbued with such power. They also served as canvases for symbolic meanings, with colors, symbols, and motifs conveying messages of bravery, loyalty, religious devotion, or affiliation with noble houses. This use of shields for identity and psychological warfare underscores the complex and multifaceted nature of ancient and medieval combat. Welcome to The History of, where we dig deep into history to find the stories you never knew you needed to hear. The shield's history is a grand narrative of adaptation, innovation, and strategic importance, mirroring the ever-changing face of warfare itself. The chronological journey of the shield begins in classical antiquity with some of its most iconic forms. The Mycenaean Greeks, for example, utilized two distinct types of shields: the figure of eight shield and a large rectangular tower shield. These formidable defenses were primarily constructed from a wicker frame and then reinforced with leather, offering extensive protection that covered most of the warrior's body from head to foot in hand-to-hand combat. The ancient Greek hoplites, heavy infantrymen famous for their disciplined formations, acquired their name from the Hoplon, a round, bowl-shaped wooden shield reinforced with bronze. This shield was not merely for individual protection. It was integral to the Greek phalanx formation. The design of the aspis, another name for the Hoplon, allowed hoplites to interlock their shields, creating a solid wall that provided protection not only for themselves, but crucially for the comrade to their left. This collective defense mechanism highlights the profound impact of the shield on early battlefield tactics, emphasizing the discipline and teamwork required to maintain such a formidable, unified front. The Roman Republic soldiers initially carried an oval shield, but the later imperial legionnaire adopted the scutum, a large, cylindrical shield made of leather-clad wood that covered most of his body. The scutum was perfectly designed for the Roman legionnaire's close-quarters combat with their short swords. Its pivotal role in creating the formidable Testudo, tortoise formation, cannot be overstated. In this extreme shield wall, legionaries interlocked their scuta overhead and at the sides, forming a protective shell that was highly effective against projectiles, particularly during sieges and advances under heavy fire. This progression underscores humanity's enduring quest for security, adapting from primal survival to organized warfare, and demonstrating how military technology and tactics are in a continuous feedback loop. As warfare continued to evolve, so too did the shield, adapting to new weapons, fighting styles, and tactical needs. In the early European Middle Ages, round shields were typical, often made of light, non-splitting wood like linden or poplar, reinforced with leather and a central metal boss. These Anglo-Saxon and Viking shields were crucial for the devastating shield wall formations, where warriors interlocked their shields to create a solid barrier that absorbed enemy attacks and provided a platform for counterattacks. Their bosses could also be used offensively for punching or bashing, showcasing their dual utility. Around the 10th century, the Normans introduced the kite shield, characterized by its distinct elongated, tapered shape. This design offered increased protection for the user's legs, making it especially suited for horsemen whose lower bodies were vulnerable in mounted combat. Its iconic appearance is famously depicted on the Bayeux tapestry, illustrating its widespread adoption. The heater shield emerged in the 13th century, named for its resemblance to a flat-bottomed iron. This convex, tapering shield provided excellent protection for the torso and legs and allowed for better maneuverability in tight spaces, which would have been advantageous in close-quarters combat. The heater shield also became a prominent canvas for heraldry, proudly displaying a knight's identity, lineage, and allegiance on the battlefield, serving both practical and symbolic functions. For ranged combat, the Pavise shield became indispensable in the late Middle Ages. This large, rectangular shield was primarily used by crossbowmen and archers. Its evolution was driven by the need for mobile cover during sieges and ranged engagements. The Pavise could be set on the ground or propped up with a supporting stand, allowing archers to take cover and reload safely. Its significant size and sturdy construction offered substantial protection from incoming projectiles. Finally, the Gothic shield, prevalent during the 14th and 15th centuries, featured an elongated and narrow shape, tapering towards the top, often reinforced with metal fittings. The evolution of shield design was a direct, reactive, and often ingenious response to advancements in offensive weaponry and changing battlefield tactics, illustrating a continuous historical arms race between attack and defense. Each significant change in shield design is presented as a direct adaptation to a new threat or a new way of fighting. This demonstrates a fundamental and continuous feedback loop in military technology. New offensive capabilities necessitate new defensive measures, which in turn prompt further innovations in attack. The shield's history serves as a perfect microcosm of this dynamic. The shield's millennia-long reign as a primary defensive tool eventually met its match. The pivotal turning point arrived with two major advancements: the widespread adoption of comprehensive plate armor and the proliferation of gunpowder weapons. Full plate armor, which emerged and became increasingly sophisticated in the late medieval period, offered unparalleled protection, covering the entire body. For heavily armored knights, this rendered a separate shield largely superfluous, as the armor itself provided superior, more encompassing defense against various attacks, from bladed weapons to the bow and crossbow. This development allowed warriors to use two-handed weapons like polearms and longswords, which offered greater reach and striking power without sacrificing defense. However, the true nail in the coffin for the traditional shield was the advent of gunpowder weapons. Early cannons and muskets could pierce traditional shield materials with ease, rendering them increasingly ineffective and ultimately obsolete for frontline combat against these new, powerful projectiles. It is important to note that the decline was not absolute or instantaneous. While major shield types largely faded for elite, heavily armored warriors, lighter armored troops and those in specialized roles continued to employ them for a period. The small buckler, for instance, persisted due to its utility in close-quarters dueling or as a personal self-defense weapon, even when full-sized shields were impractical. This illustrates that technological shifts rarely lead to the complete eradication of older technologies. Instead, Older tools often find new specialized roles where their inherent advantages still hold value. This highlights the complexity of technological adoption and obsolescence, where multiple factors influence the persistence or disappearance of a tool. The shield's impact transcended its physical form, becoming a cornerstone of collective military strategy and fundamentally altering battlefield dynamics. One of history's most fundamental and effective defensive formations was the shield wall. This tactic, where warriors interlocked their shields to create a solid barrier, was a testament to discipline, teamwork, and coordination. Its ancient origins can be traced back to the Sumerian phalanx, depicted as early as 2500 BC on the stele of the vultures, showcasing humanity's earliest coordinated defensive efforts. The Greek phalanx, with its hoplites and their aspis shields, exemplifies this concept. The interlocking aspis provided collective protection and a formidable psychological deterrent, allowing a dense, spear-projecting formation to advance or hold its ground. The Roman Testudo formation took the shield wall to an extreme. Legionaries interlocked their scuta overhead and at the sides, forming a tortoise shell that offered exceptional protection against projectiles during sieges and advances under heavy fire. While highly effective defensively, its dense structure had drawbacks, such as slow movement and compromised mobility in hand-to-hand combat. In Northern Europe, the Anglo-Saxon shield wall was widely used, creating a unified front that effectively absorbed enemy attacks. Its effectiveness is well documented in battles like Hastings and Stamford Bridge, where it allowed soldiers to withstand charges and projectiles, and served as a platform for counterattacks. This demonstrates that shields were not just for personal protection. They were integral components of larger, organized military tactics that allowed armies to operate as unified, formidable units. A seemingly simple tool, when combined with human organization and discipline, transformed individual protection into collective strength and psychological intimidation. Beyond mass formations, shields played a crucial role in one-on-one combat. They were essential for blocking, parrying, and deflecting incoming blows, significantly reducing the risk of injury. Warriors also leveraged their shields offensively, using the edge or boss for powerful strikes, bashes, or even disarming opponents. The historical debate over the effectiveness of a shield and sword combination versus two-handed weapons like spears or longswords is a fascinating one. While two-handed weapons offered greater reach or striking power, a shield provided immediate, intuitive defense and could be an aggressive tool, particularly with lighter armor. There was no single best combination, as effectiveness depended on the specific context, the type of armor worn, the opponent's weaponry, and the individual's fighting style. Shields were also invaluable in ranged combat, providing crucial mobile cover against barrages of arrows, stones, and other projectiles, allowing warriors to advance or hold position. While the physical shield largely receded from the battlefield, the concept of a protective barrier has continued to evolve, giving rise to fascinating possibilities in modern and speculative defense technologies. The fundamental human need for protection persists, simply manifesting in new, high-tech forms. A. Active protection systems, APS, the shield that fights back. In contemporary military technology, the spirit of the shield lives on in active protection systems, APS. These sophisticated systems are designed to actively prevent anti-tank weapons and other threats from destroying a vehicle. APS are broadly categorized into two types: soft kill measures. These systems defeat guided weapons by concealing the protected vehicle, for example, with smoke screens, or by disrupting their guidance with radiation, for example, laser dazzlers or powerful infrared emitters. They aim to blind or confuse incoming threats. Hard kill measures. These systems physically strike and destroy incoming missiles or munitions at very close range. Examples include the Russian Arena system, which uses radar to detect threats and fires munitions to eliminate them. and the Israeli trophy system, which uses explosively formed penetrators. These modern shields literally intercept and neutralize threats, demonstrating a direct lineage from ancient defensive concepts. B. Directed energy weapons. DEWs, the energy shield dream. Beyond current military applications, the ultimate evolution of the shield concept lies in directed energy weapons, DEWs, often envisioned as force fields or energy shields in speculative fiction. These systems convert chemical or electrical energy into radiated energy, focusing it on a target to cause physical damage or disruption. High-energy lasers, Hell and high-power microwaves, HPM, are at the forefront of this research. HEL systems emit photons, while HPM systems release radiofrequency waves, both capable of degrading, neutralizing, or destroying adversarial capabilities. The U.S. Navy, for instance, is actively developing DEWS for defense missions, with benefits including speed of light attack and deep magazines, no physical ammunition limits. The Maritime Laser Demonstrator, MLD, was the first laser weapon system operated at sea, showcasing the potential for these energy barriers. In speculative fiction, force fields are depicted as barriers of energy without matter, capable of deflecting or destroying incoming objects or energy attacks. This fictional technology, while still largely in the realm of science fiction, draws a clear conceptual line from the earliest physical shields. The idea of a personal force field, as seen in Isaac Asimov's Foundation universe, or a large-scale deflector shield protecting a starship, represents the ultimate aspiration of defensive technology, an invisible, impenetrable barrier. The progression from a simple hide shield to complex active protection systems, and the theoretical energy fields of tomorrow, highlights a continuous human endeavor to master protection, adapting to ever more sophisticated threats. This journey from basic physical barriers to invisible energy walls is a testament to humanity's relentless pursuit of security and its boundless capacity for innovation. From a hunter-gatherer crude defense in the late Neolithic to the sophisticated active protection systems of today and the shimmering force fields of tomorrow, the history of the shield is a surprising saga of human ingenuity and adaptation. It began not on the battlefield, but in the wilderness as a tool for survival and concealment. Its earliest forms were simple, made from readily available natural materials, yet even then, some were crafted for ceremonial display as much as for practical defense, reflecting deep cultural values. The shield quickly evolved, becoming a dynamic offensive tool in its own right, used for bashing and punching, and coming in an astonishing array of shapes and sizes, each tailored to specific combat needs, from the full-body Mycenaean tower shield to the agile medieval buckler. Its impact on the battlefield was profound, enabling revolutionary formations like the Greek phalanx and the Roman Testudo, which transformed individual warriors into cohesive, formidable units. The Anglo-Saxon shield wall, a testament to teamwork and discipline, further exemplified its strategic importance. The shield's decline as a primary battlefield tool was not a failure, but a natural consequence of the relentless arms race between offense and defense. The advent of full-plate armor, and more decisively, gunpowder weapons, rendered traditional physical shields less effective against new threats. Yet, the underlying concept of protection endured. Today, this legacy continues in advanced military technologies like active protection systems, which actively intercept threats, and in the speculative realm of directed energy weapons, which promise invisible energy barriers. The story of the shield is a microcosm of human history itself, a continuous cycle of challenge, innovation, and adaptation, driven by the fundamental need to protect and survive. It is a surprising reminder that even the simplest objects can hold the most complex and compelling stories. If you were surprised by the shield's hidden talents and epic journey, hit that like button. What's your favorite historical shield? Or what future shield technology do you think will become a reality? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the History of for more fascinating looks into the unexpected corners of history.